Hey, it's Stogie Mike from Stogies downtown in Valdosta, Georgia. Good to see you again. Today we're talking Stogies about little cases and keeping your cigar fresh when you're traveling and what to look for in that. Right here on Talking Stogies. Welcome back. Here we are talking Stogies today about how to keep your cigar fresh when you're traveling or going to a friend's house or maybe heading out of town or what have you. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and you'll see some cigars, of course, come in cellophane. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me about, hey, do I have to take them out of the cellophane when I put them in my humidor to keep them fresh? It's not necessary, because cellophane is actually, this type of cellophane that they usually pack these cigars in, is porous. So actually it's taking in moisture and giving out moisture or what have you, depending on the conditions of your humidor. We have a lot of cigars, you'll see in many humidors, that many of them are in cellophane. So don't worry about that at all. But when you get home, it's your choice what you'd like to do. If you're going to be carrying them around or taking them to a friend's house, you might want to leave them in there, but don't worry about that. As long as your humidor is properly kept as far as mechanics of it all, it'll stay nice and fresh. You're going to see a few different cigars in tubes, perhaps like this, a glass tube, or you're going to see another one that's like this, for instance, and all sealed up as well. These have limited freshness. This one more so. This particular cigar here, which happens to be a Gurkha cognac infused, is actually kept in nitrogen, I believe. And nitrogen keeps it nice and fresh and doesn't necessarily need to be stored in a humidor. So you don't really have to worry about this. It's going to stay fresh for a good long time. You'll probably get the urge to smoke at it, because after all, who likes looking at a tube of cigars when it's there? It needs to be smoked at some point in time. On the other hand, this particular cigar is in a little aluminum tube. It is sealed, so it's going to stay nice and fresh out of the humidor for a week or so, perhaps a little bit longer. But of course, it's going to need some humidification at some point in time. We keep it in our humidors, of course, till they're sold to you, but you don't want to knock them around, of course, and damage the cigar all that much. This one is pretty stable in here, but this one I can feel is fairly loose in there. But you want to smoke that soon or get it into your humidor. I generally, simply because of room, take them out of the tube and put them in my humidor if they're like this. And there's a lot of cigars. The Monte Cristo Platinums, for instance, have a cigar that's put in tubes as well. So limited freshness on this, about a week or so. Then you've got little cigar cases. This one happens to be a cedar lined and has leather around it. It'll push a lot of air out of there when you put it into it, so it's going to, your cigar is going to stay nice and fresh as you travel. But again, it has a limited freshness time period, perhaps about a week. Any cigar that's kept out of humidification, as you get on in a week or 4, 5, 6 days, they're going to slowly start to dry out. So you need to get it into some humidification after a while. Now, this particular case does not have a humidification device, as some of them will, but this one, you need to get it into humidor of some sort. This one is actually a 2-cigar leather case, and it is lined with wood as well. But again, it doesn't have a humidification device in it as well, so it's going to be limited in the amount of time you can actually keep your cigar in this case. So you'll use this for traveling, and again, either smoke them or get them back into a humidor at some point. Then you get into a case like this, and this particular case is great for traveling. This cigar caddy, as it is, will hold about 5 cigars. They come in 5, 10, 15. I think there's 20, and some manufacturers have more than that. And the whole thing with this is, if you're going on vacation for an extended period of time, you're going to want to load it up, and you're also going to want to take care of it. Now, this one is shock resistant. It's a real hard cover, and it's got seals around it as well, so moisture won't get in. And it has the ability to put some distilled water and glycol, propylene glycol mixture in there to let it last for humidification a little bit longer. So you can either use that, or I use, with mine, and I have a 10 cigar, I use a couple of these, the Boveda packs. And this particular Boveda pack will service about 5 cigars. So you put a couple of them in there, and that'll nicely keep your cigars nice and fresh for 30 days or so, depending on how long you keep it open and close it. So no muss, no fuss. You don't have to worry about liquids or fluids getting around in there, and it'll keep them nice and fresh because they only give off the moisture that's needed and take in the moisture that's not. So there's many ways that you can go as far as storing your cigars, but I wanted to kind of give you a little overall picture of what your choices could be. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Throw a comment down below in the comment section, and we'd be happy to answer them at a future show. And we hope you enjoy yourself. Grab a cigar, sit down, and have a great smoke. Until the next time, Stogie Mike here from Stogies Downtown. We'll see you next time we talk Stogies.